It's time to take two and call us in the morning. Our twin docs, Dr. I and Dr. J, are waking up with us this morning, answering your health questions on those medical myths online. Today's segment is brought to you by Intracellular Therapies. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Nick.
Hey, right? The three of us there. I wish if I had hair, maybe I could have passed along as one of the family members there, guys. I do want to ask you, though, because we were talking about this here in the newsroom. Today happens to be National Depression Screening Day. And so I have questions that center on that topic specifically. True or false? As we age, the incidence of depression decreases, you were saying. And I'm going to say that false. Getting older doesn't necessarily tie one to depression or lessen. You would already have to have a pre-existing condition, right?
Well, so that is false. That is false. Unfortunately, the incidence of depression actually increases as we age. Some numbers point to the numbers being as high as like 35% of people that are over the age of 65 suffering with depression, anxiety, certain mental health conditions. And there are a lot of reasons for this. You know, there's loneliness, medical conditions, bereavement, financial issues, a ton of reasons. But the point is that people do tend to have more depression and anxiety as they age. The problem, however, is that most older people don't feel comfortable talking to friends, family, or clinicians about this. And so there actually was an app that was developed in South Korea that is like an AI, and it was communicating with older people. And they found that older people are actually more apt to talk to this app and kind of reveal their depression to this app. So while that's not something that's in widespread use, I think the point is we need to all be comfortable talking to friends and family, as well as our mental health care, our mental health and our just regular health, our practitioners, but also check in on your older friends, families, neighbors, because the incidence actually does increase. It does not decrease, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Dr. J, the next one I have there, eating a traditional Japanese diet can decrease your risk of depression. Japanese diet, why would the diet matter? True.
It is true. It is true. So this is the deal. They found in Japan that the risk of depression is about half of what we see in the United States. And there's a lot of factors. For example, lifestyle factors. In Japan, they work about 20 to 25% fewer hours than we do here. So that plays a role, and that helps too, working less, as I'm sitting here in the call room at 6 a.m. already at work. But the diet also plays a huge role. So the Japanese diet is rich in vegetables and green leafy vegetables, seaweed, things of that nature. They eat about 3 times the amount of vegetables than we do here. Vegetables have all of these micronutrients, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, folate that help produce serotonin, dopamine, the neurotransmitters that make you feel good. They eat a lot of fish, omega-3 fatty acids, good for blood flow to the brain, decrease inflammation of the brain, decrease depression. So actually, the Japanese diet can help decrease the risk of depression, and it's delicious.
I went in the direction of true the minute I thought about what I eat myself. That salmon versus that fried chicken, how I feel afterwards. I'm like, you know what? I do feel better after that fish. But I can't leave that chicken alone. All right, true or false? Asthma medication can actually be harmful to the environment. Dr. I'm going to say yes, because all I think about is that spray thing with the dinosaur commercial.
Dr. Nick is on it today. He is on it today. So this is actually true. Now, let me, as a caveat, tell people it is crucial to treat your asthma, treat your COPD. So don't not treat these medical conditions because of this information. But it actually is true. Now, like you said, they're called MDIs, metered dose inhalers, that people that have COPD and asthma use. They actually release carbon dioxide into the environment. And it turns out it's not a small amount. So in America alone, the amount of carbon dioxide released, which of course we know leads to global warming, is akin to about 600,000 cars on the road. Like I said, don't stop taking your asthma or COPD medications, but there are different forms. There are powder forms, there are nebulizers, so talk to your doctor and see if you can maybe use a different form. But yeah, it does contribute to global warming, surprisingly.
My takeaway today, eat more fish and talk to friends, Nick, if you're feeling a little bit down because you have moved into that older age where depression is ready to creep up on you. That's the idea.
All there.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.